Good afternoon. I'm trying a new camera setup today, hence the headphones, because the other one wasn't working out very well. So hopefully this will be better than the last couple of times. Today is the 19th of October, and in today's vlog we're going to be looking at, should you buy a petrol or a diesel car? So those of you who've seen my latest vlog about the cars I've owned, I've actually only ever owned one diesel car, which was a 2014 Chevrolet Cruze 1.7 LT turbo diesel. The reason I'm able to compare that one with another one directly is because I had the same type of car with some minor changes. Directly before that, I had a 2011 Chevrolet Cruze 1.6 LT Petrol, and that's maybe one of the ways that we can, look at this and compare the two directly. So the petrol Chevy Cruze I had, it got about 38 miles per gallon and was about 155 a year to tax at the time. The diesel Chevrolet Cruze I had was getting 52 miles per gallon and was about £30 a year to tax. So the running costs in that way were much, much better. However, the other running costs, such as the insurance and the servicing, were higher. For some reason, the diesel Chevy had different servicing intervals. It needed servicing more than once a year because it was doing quite high mileage, and also the insurance jumped from about group I think it was 17 to group 24, which was a significant change. Now clearly, if you buy a diesel car produced before September 2015, then you are not going to be compliant with the London ultra emission zone, which is coming into force from next April, and you're going to have to pay a daily surcharge. Whereas if you've got a petrol car after 2006, that's exempt from it, along with hybrid and electric cars. So that might be a factor for some people, in that living in this sort of area, I live in Epsom. It's reasonably near the South Circular, which will be one of the boundaries of the London Ultra Emission Zone from October 2021. There's also the thing about diesels that you've got to replace the particulate filter unless you do a lot of long distance driving. And if those clog up, they can be up to £1,000 to replace. That can be maybe a deciding factor for some people. Also, the depreciation of diesels at the moment is abysmal, particularly the ones that aren't compliant with the London ultra low emission zone. The petrol equivalents are worth so much more at the moment. The diesels are deeply, deeply out of fashion. Overall, I would suggest only getting a diesel car if you're getting a large off-roader or a people carrier, and some of them aren't really available with decent petrol engines. All other types of car, unless your mileage is very, very high, say over 15,000 miles a year, I'd recommend getting a petrol if you can, or an electric or a hybrid. That's simply due to the fact that no one's really certain about what's going to happen with legislation to do with diesels. It seems to be getting stronger and stronger all the time, and accordingly the depreciation of diesel cars, particularly the pre-Euro 6 ones, that's before September 2015, has been very adversely affected. And I wouldn't even buy a new one, to be honest. You might find yourself, if you are getting one that's not a large off-roader or a people carrier, unless you're doing very high mileage, that you're going to end up in negative equity on something like a PCP. So I'd recommend getting a small capacity turbo petrol like the Seat Toledo 1 litre that I have. That gets the same economy as my previous diesel car. The performance is actually better and the servicing's cheaper. So I hope you found this little vlog useful. If you want me to source a car of any type of fuel, then I'm very happy to do that. I'd love to do that. My website is www.lloydvehicleconsulting.co.uk, and my Facebook page is facebook.com/Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. Thank you very much indeed.